Good afternoon, everybody, on a Friday afternoon. This is Omar Serrano with the Tilted Lawyer Podcast, here for another edition of Family Law After Dark, where I convey to you some of the candid conversations I have upon my initial consultations with people seeking divorce. And you'd be surprised about how crazy it gets. We're going to go over some of these scenarios. You're going to want to stick around. This is going to be a good one. We have penis sleeves. We have psychic friends accusing their friends' boyfriends of cheating. We have lots of things. It's going to be a wild show. You're not going to want to miss it. So let's get started forthwith. All right, folks. I've seen many of the comments asking about what is a penis sleeve, and I'm sure you Googled it and got an eyeful in your Google search. So let me just explain this first hypothetical that comes to us, and I will share my screen so that we can all read along together and be updated on to what this case is. Actually, let me do this first. The first one I can't really divulge, but this guy is a 36-year-old male. He's been married to his wife for 8 years. They have 3 children. Wife is a stay-at-home mom. Says that their sex life has always been great. But last year, my wife wanted to try on a penis sleeve, which actually improved our sex life evermore because it hit her in the right areas. She said it's the best sex she's ever had in her life. Hey, Dominic, you want to tell everybody what a penis sleeve is?
I actually have no idea.
It is an extension. It is a sleeve that acts as an extension to make your penis bigger. Basically, it's like a dildo that attaches to a penis. Is basically what it is in so many words. They started employing that. Says it's the best sex she's ever had. Which made me even happier. So a week ago, my friend, 35-year-old male, asked me about the sleeve because he's never tried it before, wanted to know what it was like. I was surprised that he knew about this. I asked him, how did he know? He said his wife told him about it. My wife and his wife are in the same friend group. I was shocked that my wife had shared such a personal detail with her friends, and I asked her about it. When I asked her about it, she confessed that she had shared to her friend group and that she shouldn't have, but she just wanted to talk about why our sex life has become amazing recently. She apologized a lot, but I ignored her and told her I needed some time to process this. It's been a week, and I've been trying to ignore her as much as possible. I'm sleeping in a different room. She cooks dinner every day, but I just go out and eat because I have no mood to eat at home. There is a tense atmosphere at home, and my wife has apologized a lot, but I've been trying to ignore her as much as possible. I don't know anything. Well, I'm not going to say anything. I don't think this can be fixed through therapy or a simple apology. I think this is a massive betrayal of my trust. It's just shocking to me that my wife would share such a personal detail with her entire friend group. I have been seriously considering the possibility of a divorce. I know we have 3 children, but I don't know how I'll ever reconcile this with my wife ever again. Imagine having 3 children and wanting to divorce your wife and place these children in a single parent home because you're embarrassed about your use of a sex toy. Could we just wrap our brains around that for a minute? That's what this guy is suggesting. He wants to know, is he the asshole for wanting a divorce? Can the situation ever be fixed? How do I even trust my wife anymore? I certainly have thoughts. And
So let me get this straight. Men share pictures of naked women all the damn time.
That is not a thing. That is so not a thing.
Let me finish my thought.
Okay.
So men do this all the fucking time because they do. Please do not get on the comments telling me that no, we don't.
Naked
Bullshit.
pictures of who? If you're suggesting that men share naked pictures of their significant others,
I never said their significant. I never
okay.
said their significant others.
Well, then,
I said women. That's it. If you share intimate pictures of your significant other, you're weird.
yes,
You're a jerk. First of all,
yes,
I'm just gonna start there.
okay.
But men do that all the time of women. Unfortunately, my brother is not here. I could just take his fucking phone and show you his friend's group chat. But anyway,
Naked
like I'm
pictures of
saying,
who though?
I have no idea who they are, but I'm
So,
sure they're
like,
not
are you
their
talking about
significant
porn
others.
stars? Or are you talking? I can tell you in good confidence. I've been alive for 43 years.
Omar, I don't know. I'm gonna be very honest with you. If you could show me a picture of a porn star right now, and if it's not the one we all know, I'm not gonna know who she is.
Who's the one that we all know? Who's that? Dominic, who's she talking about, dipshit? Who is the porn star that we all know?
Oh my god!
You said it.
If I describe Mia Khalifa, I think that's her name.
Oh, Mia Khalifa. Yeah, everybody knows her because.
Exactly.
But
If you show me a picture of somebody that's not her, I'm not gonna have a clue of who that person is. But going back.
Okay, sorry.
But going back to it, men share pictures of naked women all the time in their fucking friends group chat.
hey,
And
Dominic,
she shared.
could I just share amongst men? Hey, Dominic, how many times have you shared naked pictures with your guy friends?
Don't lie.
Not lying, probably none, actually.
None. It's not a thing, Melissa. What do you think? What do you think that we do? Like, if guys want to go find porn, they could go find it for free in like within a millisecond.
I'm not talking about porn.
But why would a man share a naked picture with one of his friends for what purpose?
I wish I could call my husband and ask him.
Call him right now. Call him right now and ask him that very question. And you could tell him that I authorized this phone call and make sure that he knows that he's live when I do it. I don't want to catch him off guard.
Oh, put it on speaker first.
It's on speaker. Hey babe, you're live right now. Omar wants to ask you a question because he thinks I'm lying. Are you there?
Okay, here is the question. Under what circumstances and how many times have you in the past, I don't know, 10 years shared naked pictures of other females in any regard with your group of friends?
Never.
Thank you.
Tell
Thank
me
you.
if it's not true that men have group chats in which they share pictures of naked women.
We do not. What do you think what do you think we do? Like, what do you think that we do? We 100% don't. That is a 100% weird. Nobody does that, Melissa. No guy that I know, a guy that I know of does that. It's not a thing.
I do a lot.
It is so in your imagination
No,
that you
it's
were
not.
projecting this.
It's not.
What does
I
your
wish
husband
my
say?
brother, I could grab my brother's phone right now and just like scroll through his group chat.
Pictures that he's sending to other guys of just random naked women for what?
They do that all the time. It's weird. It's fucking weird, but they do.
Your husband just said he doesn't. I've told you I
He's a
don't.
golden retriever husband.
Dominic has told you hey, he hasn't, and he would be the one to do it. He's like 20. He's like 25. None of us do anything like that. I'm curious why you are so sure that men do this.
Because I saw it throughout my entire teen years.
From your brother? Okay, I feel like we should call your brother.
Oh, he's in Colombia. He's not going to answer.
All right.
Unfortunately.
I
have to go, babe. Bye.
All right. Thanks for
Joining.
Okay, well,
joining our team.
I agree with Melissa a little bit because when I was in high school, there was an app called Burn Book. And like a lot of
Burn
it was
Book?
like- it
It's
was
an
like-
app?
It's an app where it's like anonymous. Well, it's shut down now, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
But there
of
was
course.
like different group chats for different high schools.
Burn
And-
Book?
Yeah, Burn Book.
Like the
Yeah. Like from what movie? Mean Girls?
Mean Girl, the
Yeah, from
pink
Mean
burn
Girls.
book. Oh,
And people would post like random nudes in there from girls that were at the school.
you see,
So I guess
Okay.
that's the only thing I could think of.
it was a thing. Maybe
Alright.
it's not now, but it was.
But it's not like a thing that guys just do on the regular, like, oh, we're just gonna be sharing pictures like that. It's like if you do that, like it's a weird criminal thing.
I think it's something that doesn't happen a lot in America, but in Latin America, when I was in high school, ooh, all
Well,
the time.
luckily, we're broadcasting from America, from Southern California. It's not a thing that I've ever
Good.
done, nor would I be interested. Like if my brother were to send me a naked picture, I'm like,
Your
what the
brother's
fuck,
not
dude?
gonna do that.
I know that because he's because I know. But you know what he did tell me one time? I'm talking about my brother Miguel. I'm totally putting him on blast. He was like, hey, so
Your other brother.
if any of you guys get a dick pic from me, just please ignore it. I've been threatened by somebody that they're gonna like
Oh,
text
yeah.
my entire family unless I give them $20,000. I don't got $20,000, so you may or may not get a dick pic of mine. Just never mind. That's what he said, man. I love my brother. He's dumb as rocks. Oh, Miguel, why? Oh, or let me okay, where was I at? We're getting off topic.
I was saying, so let me get this straight. Men share pictures of naked women
No.
in their okay.
As
We already
we've
covered that.
established,
Okay,
yes,
exactly. Men do that, and this guy's getting upset.
that she did it with
because-
his friends.
No, but she did not share a picture. She told them. That's what our
Okay,
understanding
if
is.
your husband shared with his friends that you like X, Y, and Z sex toy and that like it's like your secret thing, how upset would you be at him?
I would be mad, but I would not be considering divorce. That was the point I was trying to get to.
Well, I agree with that, but you would be upset.
Yeah.
So I understand his upsetness.
No, I do.
that's a
I'm
word.
100% on it. I would be upset too.
But the thought that you're going to divorce a kid and leave 3 children orphaned
I mean,
because of your micro penis,
that's-
that you need a sex sleeve to satisfy your wife, that's a little bit much.
He escalated it. He escalated it a lot.
She just seemed really excited to have a sex sleeve. I don't know what to tell you. But I feel
I feel bad. Well, he was the one who put that out there, but okay.
Look, man, I feel like I just feel like he's the one that agreed to do the sex sleeve thing.
I was gonna get to that too. He agreed on it. Like, did he say who asked for it or something?
He said that stay-at-home mom wife wanted me to try. She wanted me to try
Okay, it
on
was
a
her.
penis sleeve.
Okay.
I could not foresee of any circumstance where a woman would ask a man to try on a sleeve like that,
Me neither.
unless it was like an issue,
Me neither.
like
to
a
be honest
micro
with you.
penis situation, like there was a medical issue, you know?
Oh, that's a medical issue. Great.
I don't know. Most women, well, I'm just gonna say,
Wise choice of words.
it's not as big of an issue as men think, and the men that make it a huge issue usually have like they're on an extreme of either end.
They're super emasculated.
Is what I'll say. But he agreed to it. He's like, yeah, sure,
Exactly.
whatever.
He agreed to it.
So then he knew it was a problem, and then he's probably been in his head about it. Like a guy, it's kind of heartbreaking to think of a guy that's like every time he has sex with his wife, he's like,
He has to put
oh,
his sleeve.
could she feel it? Could she feel it? Like, should I just put my thumb in there instead? I mean, like, if you're having those kinds of just saying, man.
This is bad in every corner.
He just seemed it seemed like he was so relieved at the fact that now he doesn't have to worry about those kinds of things, that he was happy. But now he's overblowing this up when it's like, I need a divorce because she told her friends. I don't know.
He's blowing it out of proportion, like really out of proportion.
Yeah, to go through the whole exercise of a divorce over that. If he were to come into this office and tell me that, it's like, what do you want a divorce for? Because of the penis sleeve thing. And I'd be like,
be honest.
Do you know what this means? Okay, we're talking about alimony. We're talking about child support. We're talking about child custody and visitation orders. We're talking about division of assets. We're talking about division of retirement accounts.
Attorney
You want to do
fees.
all of this because you got a little penis. Because you're embarrassed about it. You have, look, I feel like
Just to let you know, I'm not allowed to say that.
Says who? I never made that rule. I never made a little penis rule.
I am not allowed to tell clients that, and I will never do it.
I guess that's true. My only point is, you're way too fixated on the penis, man. I mean, come on.
That's another thing. Like you said, I do side with you on that. That thought has been round in his head for a while.
A long time, and
A
he
long
probably has.
time.
There's nothing wrong with guys that have, there's nothing wrong with guys that look.
Dominic, why are you
If the woman was so unimpressed with it, I don't mean to say unimpressed. If the woman was so not worried about it
Mm-hmm.
to marry him anyway, then it must not be that big of an issue. I feel like women would not marry a guy if they thought it was that big of an issue.
Well,
I just want to take a break really quick. Omar, did you want to roll out the call-ins?
Yeah, do the call-in line for sure. Dominic has created a Google Voice phone call-in line for Family Law After Dark for discerning members that want to get involved with the show in a more intimate kind of a way.
We did mention it last one or before that.
Yeah, but Dominic has gone out of his way to create a call-in aspect of the show.
Well, I just wanted to point out that Charlotte married Trey and he couldn't get it up. And then they divorced.
Who was Charlotte?
Charlotte from Sex and the City.
My God.
That was her first husband.
Oh,
And that's how she met her second husband, Harry.
You realize that is fiction.
I know, but I'm just saying, you were saying like if the women would not care that much and if they would have married, and I was like, well, actually, Charlotte did marry Trey and he couldn't get it up.
This guy has an update. Do you want to hear his update?
Yeah.
Okay. So after reading through more than a few comments, I have decided to try and work through this, as this isn't worth breaking apart our family. I could already feel the comments coming already.
You don't say.
The comments, they're going to feel like, I was listening for a while, but I feel like you're being so immature about the penis size. I'm not arguing about penis sizes, man. I'm literally excoriating this guy for suggesting that it's a reason to get a divorce. The fact that I might have said funny comments in between. I mean, come on. I can't help it.
I'm just going to pinpoint your comments. So you want to go through all this for micropenis.
And he might not even have a micropenis.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm projecting upon him, what I think my speculation leads me to believe.
What is the chat saying?
I don't no idea. Dominic is responsible for the chat. Yeah, Angel says that am I in the wrong thing? Angel says, OMG, maybe she was being nice. Jules says tilted Colin. Oh, she's calling number 951-374-0315. Tug Simp says we can usually work with it.
Okay.
They're saying the kind of things that you would imagine. Jules says that I don't think she needs to apologize, in my opinion. This is a grown folks conversation. If someone has a certain thought or opinion, if someone's personal opinion or feelings.
I do believe
right on,
he
Jules.
does need to apologize because he got upset.
Apologize for what, man?
No. Don't get me wrong.
Could I just say this? This?
Say it.
If my wife were to share some kind of a weird sex thing that I do with my wife, I wouldn't give a shit.
That's valid too, but
I just wouldn't care. I would not be. I don't care. I would not care. I would be so unbothered by it. But if it was something that like perhaps I might have been embarrassed by, I'm thinking about this TikTok about. There's no chance that you don't know what this is. There's this TikTok, like this famous audio clip about some guy that was getting pegged by his wife, and like he was so into it, he was like orgasming all over the place. And he's like, I thought you weren't going to tell anybody about that. And they were like having this like scream at the top of their lungs argument. You don't know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
Now I feel stupid.
Thank God I don't know.
It's a thing on TikTok. I wish I had it queued up, but I do not. I do not.
Very classy. Very
Redondo Beach says, sorry, I'm behind, but this guy with the penis sleeve can go fuck himself. Maybe he will.
I do find it ridiculous.
With the sleeve. It's just, come on, man. You got to get over your insecurities for the sake of family. I mean, you got 3 children. They don't know anything about your penis, nor should they ever know anything about your penis. And what are you going to say? I'm sorry, I cannot be your dad anymore full time because your mom told her friends that I have a little dick.
They're eventually going to find out, and they're going to be like, really, Dad?
I just cannot imagine that being the reason for a divorce. By the way, Dominic is managing the call-in stuff, and so he's going to have to screen your calls, and we're going to have to get it online. So to the extent that y'all want to participate, I am fully open to it. I feel like I need supervision. I'm probably 0.15 right now. I'm saying a lot of things. Anyway, he has an update. So, all right. After reading through more than a few comments, I have decided to try and work through this, as this isn't we're breaking apart our family. Divorce is going to be very tough for our children. And I haven't been thinking rationally. I have been thinking only based on raw emotions. I still love my wife very much, although it is tough right now because I still feel a serious sense of betrayal. I agree with the comments that I couldn't be ignoring my wife. As I always tell my 4 and 5-year-old daughters, you know what? Why don't you just grow a pair? Sometimes, not every hurt requires tears like that.
You
You
did
just
not.
all the time. All the time. My girls will tell you that if they see you crying like that. Melissa, could you just grow a pair, please?
And I would look at them and be like, you are your daddy's daughter. Literally, I would be like,
But I tell you what, it hasn't had any effect on their crybaby-ness because they still cry at
of course.
the appropriate times because they're 4 and 5.
Maybe in between them, you don't know them. When each of them see them cry, they tell, you need to grow a pair.
That would be hilarious if that actually that was I would be so happy if they told their teacher that. Olivia, I just really wish you would listen. It's like, teacher, I really just wish you would grow a pair. How about that?
You see? That's why I can't be a mom. If a teacher comes to me, your daughter told me, I would be like, I'm sorry, what? Yeah, that's really bad.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
my grandpa once told his oldest son, because a teacher, this was back in the 70s or 80s, his teacher, I think, hit him with like a ruler. That was a thing back then.
Yep, with a stick or
exactly.
like a yardstick or whatever.
And then my grandpa jokingly said, next time a teacher does that, just throw a chair at them and leave. And he did it. And then he was called to the office.
I would not condone my child picking a fight, like a fist fight with the teacher, because they'll lose. And I don't trust the teacher, to be honest. But I guess, look, public service announcement. If you were a guy with a micro penis and you're navigating the world and you're insecure about it, you cannot fixate so much on it to the detriment of your family, to the detriment of your children, to the detriment of your, those that love you the most. If somebody was willing to marry you in spite of your shortcomings, I'm sure you all have worked it out, but people are so fixated on that kind of stuff. Every response I've ever heard about that, even from like a psychologist friend of mine, is like, men are way more fixated on that than women are.
That's true.
And a lot of that is because of the way the culture is now. Like even now on this show, we're talking about this very topic. People would construe me as making little dick jokes about this guy unintentionally. But I'm just, speaking rawly, if that's a word. I'm just unfiltered and probably 0.15. I can't be judged for what I say right now. I'm just saying that if you have this as if this is a shortcoming of yours, you have to find a way to still be able to navigate and not be constantly emasculated at the mere thoughts that somebody might be thinking about you as the guy with a little dick. I guarantee you that nobody knows.
By the size of your boobs. Feels that way.
Oh, by the way, guys don't give a shit about the size of your boobs. They really don't could give a shit. I promise you, if you had the flattest of flat A cups and you were a girl, and you still had a nice figure, men would not give a F. They will work with it. Matter of fact, and then you would say, oh, but I need to get like accentuated. I need to like get a boob job or whatever. Men don't care. And they would prefer you to just stay natural. Now, if you do that, it's to your own peril because of health and safety risk, but also you're doing it for you.
So much bullshit coming out of
it is not. Dominic, please co-sign on this with me. Please co-sign.
You're 100% right.
Thank you.
A lot of guys really don't care.
And we know when it's fake.
No, I'm not saying they don't know. Of course they're going to know.
And we would prefer it natural. Whatever it is, we would prefer natural.
That reminds me of the TikTok. Nobody's going to know.
Oh.
They're going to know.
Oh. All right, so this guy is talking. Although it was tough right now, because I still feel a serious sense of betrayal. I agree with the comments that I shouldn't be ignoring my wife. Should have a serious discussion with her about my feelings and be brutally honest with her. He could get good at other things, man. I don't know. Maybe he could just lean into like I don't know, write her poems and stuff and get her like chocolates and sit under a rainbow and like tell her like nice things. And
light candles?
whatever, man. Go straight up George Michaels with it. Do you even know who George Michaels is? He was the guy that wrote a Careless Whisper with the saxophone.
Okay,
All
I
right.
understand.
You don't understand shit. Anyway, but that's my point. Just lean into other things. It's not all about you don't have to be so penis centric is all I'm saying.
Mhm.
Am I wrong, Melissa? Am I speaking out of bounds?
No.
Or am I speaking truths that should be echoed across the canyons?
No. Yeah, men give too much thought to that. It's just stupid. Sometimes it's just stupid.
If you're over 20 years old and you're still thinking about it and fixated over that much, you're doing something wrong. That's all I got to say about that. So young men out there that may be listening to this show. All right. So going on with this serious discussion, he says it's a horrible invasion of my privacy. She had no right to share such personal detail with her
That's
friends.
not an invasion of
with
your
consulting.
privacy, idiot.
Let's be fair. It kind of is. If your husband told his friends that you were into butt plugs, what would you think about that?
Wait. Point it back again. Say it again.
What if your husband told his friend group that you were into butt plugs and weird butt stuff?
Uh-huh.
Would you consider that an invasion of your privacy?
No.
All right. Well, then I guess upon that response,
Just reminds me of the one video I saw where somebody was like, "Oh, going through your partner's phone is an invasion of your his privacy," and then somebody answered like, "So let me get this straight: the phone is an invasion of my privacy, but my boobs and my ass are not." Nice.
where does that even? Where is the connection with that logic?
It's like the logic is the following. So you should not snoop through your partner's phone because that's private.
I've changed
But
my
he
opinion
can't-
on this.
so
I have an
so I'm like-
evolved. I have an evolved opinion about that. I
It's
used to think
ridiculous.
it was an invasion of your spouse's privacy to go through their phone. I used to think that was like a, if you're that fixated on it, then there's something to hide or whatever. You shouldn't do it because of insecurity or whatever. But at the same time,
Come on, change my mind.
I still do.
there's nothing wrong with if you can't give your partner your phone and just say look through whatever you want
Why?
Mhm.
Okay.
without hesitation, then that should just that should raise a red flag.
Exactly.
I feel like it should. Whatever your expectations about privacy, whatever your expectations about whatever your retorts about insecurity, pale in comparison to the confidence that you give your spouse if you're able to do that without any kind of objection. And it's not that they even have to do that. It's just on call. Hey, could I see your phone? Yeah, sure. Here.
Not even that. Oh, could you please pass me my phone, please? I want to change the song. Or could you please just give me my phone? And then, no, like I've seen. This is super private, but my previous relationship before I met my husband, I couldn't even take his phone to see, like, oh, it's 2:01. I couldn't even do that.
Oh, that's an extreme red
If
flag.
I did that, he would get so stressed and so scared. Like if I even did that, and then I would take his phone for more than 1 second, he would get so stressed and anxious. Like, what are you doing? What? And I'm like, I'm just looking at but why? You just saw it.
Yeah,
I
that's
swear to
that's
God.
an extreme red flag.
That's why I think it's stupid. It's
I'll
like,
give my wife the phone and like order food. Like
Yeah,
we're
go
on
ahead.
order whatever you want, whatever the fuck,
exactly.
And we were like at Disneyland and it was like, I don't know, I had like a pass on there, but I had to pee really bad. It's like, here's my phone. I gotta go. Left. Like if you can't do that with your partner, then that's a problem.
That's a really big problem.
Yeah, it's a huge red. Dominic, you were gonna say something. What were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say, like, I was gonna play devil's advocate.
Oh, lay it on me, buddy. I'm ready for this one.
Because
Let's do it.
I'm completely like truthful and I'm not a cheater, but I don't like when a girl doesn't have trust in me and wants to look through my phone. Like if it's just to change a song or like to do something on my phone, that's fine.
I've thought about that.
Purposely like, oh, let me see your phone. Let me see if you're texting anybody. I think that's when the relationship goes downhill, is when you lose trust and the lack of trust.
Can I explain? I used to think like Dominic. And I'll explain why I used to think like Dominic. I used to think like that because I once had a stalker girlfriend.
Omar, that's different.
No, it isn't. But this is where his fears originate. I used to have a stalker girlfriend that would go through my phone, would break into my house, would go through all of my shit. And it was just like a huge deal to me.
So you're comparing Dominic to your stalker girlfriend?
No, I'm comparing him to having a stalker girlfriend.
Situation.
Yeah, because when I had a stalker girlfriend, it was a huge red flag to me that a woman would want to do that because of whatever, because it led me to these vibes that maybe she was stalkerish like this other girl that I used to date that was breaking into my phone and would get mad at me for texting my cousin. And I didn't want to live that kind of drama. So I get where he's coming from, but where I have evolved is that I'm old enough
to not give a shit.
I just don't care anymore. And I know my wife is not a stalker. And so if she wants to go through my phone for whatever, go for it.
The only times I get mad at my husband when he goes through my phone is when he goes through the Chase app with my credit card.
Because you're buying butt plugs over there on like I don't know.
I'm buying stuff. I'm buying clothes and makeup. And then he's like, we were gonna save it. I'm like, yeah.
I don't even have to do that because all of the statements come. My wife has my credit card.
Exactly. It's an extension.
And so when she buys my credit card, when she uses my credit card, it's already on the statements. I gotta go searching for it.
I have that too.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you know that if you have, how do I say this? A card that's connected to your account, your wife can also create an account so she can check on her expenses.
Jules says that I can understand that, Dominic, but it's the desire to hide it that is the red flag. So there's two different things going on. There's the need to invade that personal space, and there's the need to keep personal space private. And where it gets conflicted, and where it legitimately gets conflicted, is where you've had bad experiences in the past based on the need to cross over boundaries, to where you don't want to categorize the person that you're dating as if they were this stalkerish, whatever person.
This just got pointed to the conversation of spouses that take a dump together.
What the fuck are you talking about? What's wrong with you?
Okay, how does it say? How does it?
Do you do that with your husband? That's
no.
gross.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So there's two groups of
people. You keep all that private, man. I don't need to see all that. I don't need to know everything.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's two groups of people. There's people who don't care if their spouse is in the bathroom. They would just go into the bathroom to do whatever they want to do, like shower, stuff like that. You get what I'm saying?
No, I need my boundaries, man. You're not coming with me in the bathroom.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's a clear boundary.
Nor would I ever want to go with my girlfriend, with my wife into the bathroom. Commentate yourself.
You do not say that to a woman.
Commentate this. Not really.
What did my husband just sent me this morning? He's like, haha, this is you. Oh, wait.
What does this say?
It says, when they tell me chill, relax, breathe and calm, and you're like, I'm calm.
I'll tell you what, my wife is super chill. She's super chill. And the reason that I'm married to her is because she's super chill. But my experience with women is not the super chill. My experience with women is the batshit crazy stalkerish type of stalker that it presents roadblocks to the development of a healthy relationship. If I can't trust you because I think that you're gonna like go down that path, I can understand Dominic's sentiment when he says that. And I used to think that way. But what changes for me is being with my wife for long enough where, all right, well, I don't think that she's gonna be ever a stalker. It's fine. And so
gonna be ever a stalker. Okay.
I mean, I have evidence now. I mean, she's old now. She's old. You know what?
She's not old.
You know what I told my wife the other day? She was wearing this dress, and I was like, pajamas.
You told me that last week.
And she was like, these aren't my pajamas. This is my clothes, bitch.
This is a habit of yours. You told me that last week with the romper I was wearing. You were like, why are you in your pajamas?
Did I tell you that?
You're programmed that way. I guess. You straight up with a straight face that, why are you in your pajamas? I was like,
I told my wife that, and she's like, I went out in public like this, asshole. It's like, well, I didn't tell you to do that. It looked like yours your pajamas.
His personality is off on people all time long. I still remember he came into the office. He's like, "What's that smell? You smell like a pine tree." And I was like, "I'm just gonna take that the good way. Thank you."
Jules says, "Yeah, Omar. For some reason, you give that vibe. You be attracting crazy chicks." LOL. Well, I could refer you to my time in law school. There was nothing but crazy chicks, man.
Omar,
Jesus Christ.
she's actually right.
She was.
You remember that woman, or not woman? It was a girl that she like wanted to work here, and then she would stand out.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
the bumblebee.
Oh my god, yes, the bumblebee.
She said she's a bumblebee or something. I remember
that actually happened.
Mm-hmm. There was some lady that was passing out flyers, and then she like, I told her I'm an attorney. I don't need paralegal services, whatever. And then she showed up here asking for a job.
Yeah, she showed here twice. Twice I had to let the office know that the front desk like,
Could you just keep on the lookout for this lady, because I don't know what the F she's up to. She might be crazy.
And then how? I don't know. But she found Omar's phone number, cell phone.
I mean, it's on the internet. Whoever wants to find me could find my phone number. What?
Don't say that.
Yeah, don't say that.
Oh well, I mean,
You're gonna get crazy.
Redondo Beach says balls are weak. LOL. Do you want to tell them to get a vagina? They take a beating and still stand. What are you talking about, Redondo?
You want some cream for your vag? That's what you always tell.
Do you want some Vagisil? Does your fallopian tubes hurt, bitch? What is? I gotta read this again. Balls are weak. Do you want? They are. I mean, to be honest, they're pretty resilient, man. I don't know. I've been wrestling for a long time. I got used to the wayward strikes of the nuts.
I think I got too much caffeine.
Gosh, I forgot that we're doing a podcast. So, all right. So this guy says
that's another one.
We're on the same one. We're on micro penis, dude.
Sleep? Okay.
Yeah, I had a serious discussion with my wife about an hour ago. I was upfront about my feelings and told her that she had massively betrayed my trust.
Okay, that's an empty.
It was a horrible invasion of my privacy. She had no right to share such personal detail with her husband without consulting me first. My wife apologized again and promised she would never discuss anything about our sex life with her friends ever again. And it was a huge mistake on her part. I accepted her apology. Mm-hmm. But I told her I still needed some time to work through this. I told my wife I wasn't in the mood for sex for the time being because I just wasn't attracted to her right now. I felt zero attraction to her physically and emotionally. I think I had to tell my wife this so she could understand the sense of betrayal I felt. This guy's going on too much about betrayal, man. Okay. I don't want to be crucified as being toxically masculine about this.
But
I don't.
Pero
it's being a little bitch.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Look, it is what it is, buddy. You got to get over it at some point. If you cannot resume your marriage if you don't get over this shit. Like, what do you want to do? Like, every single time you have a thought about all the things that she said to her friends, you're going to like shrivel up in the bedroom and you can never perform again. I mean, what purpose is that going to serve other than to crumble your marriage from the inside out? You have to become okay with what happened. You have to. And if you can't, I mean, you're the one that said that it's worth it. You have to
become okay with not being okay.
You said that it was worth it to preserve this for the sake of your children, and maybe you overreacted. So get over it then. You have to. But please do not go about, look, there is no, as far as I'm aware, there was this documentary on, what's that show, man? There was a documentary about a guy with a small penis. And he was like traversing the world back and forth to figure out ways to lengthen and extend his penis. And his
is it actually a small penis?
He says it was. Gosh, what was the documentary? They're famous. Like, it was a legit documentary company. It was the same one that talked about a guy. You know what? I'm gonna Google.
What I'm gonna do.
Guy with small penis documentary.
Unhung
Unhung Hero. That's what it was. What was the guy? What was the company of the name that of the people that did that documentary?
Omar, there's a Reddit post about him.
Is there?
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know, man. Maybe it was unhung hero.
Yeah, it was. It's the only one.
Anyway, he's going across the world to figure out ways to lengthen and extend his penis and make it bigger. And he's like literally hanging like weights by the head of his penis to try to stretch and enlarge it. He's like employing the use of penis pumps, and he's trying to get it like surgically enlarged. And he's so frustrated. And there's even a point at the beginning of the documentary where he curses his father. He's like, F you, if not for you, I wouldn't have a micro penis. And he's going on like this.
Okay, it says that it happened because his girlfriend rejects him.
Yes, that did happen.
Proposal.
Love of his life, because he has a small penis. That's
So
what she said.
He proposed?
He proposed, and she said no, because you can never satisfy me, is pretty much what she said. And she blamed it on the size of his penis, and it sent him on this mission to find a way to lengthen and enlarge it. And over the course of like 90 minutes, he goes through all of these different ways to enlarge and extend his penis, and it just doesn't work out. I think it was like sub 5 inches to begin, and it was sub 5 inches to end, despite the fact that he got like surgeries and employed all these different methods. There's not, he concludes, there is not a healthy, viable way to lengthen penis size, because if there was, every guy would do it. You think that boob jobs are a thing? Imagine if penis jobs were a thing.
They are a thing, but maybe not in the heterosexual culture, but in the other one.
What the fuck, Melissa? Why do you even know that?
You really want me to tell you?
I really want you to tell me. I've never heard of this. What are you talking about?
Okay, so my mom's hairstylist since she was 18 is trans.
Okay.
She has many trans friends, and she has told us that it's very common in her group of friends, that type of surgery.
Okay, but is it creating a penis or is it extending a
It
penis?
extends it.
Bullshit.
I swear. What about that?
Because you don't have a penis. How about that?
I've learned so much from you, and one of them is not taking those. That's how it is working with him.
Mira Davis says, dude just needed to up his oral game. Well, I guess there is that.
That
You
would
don't
be
have
a
to
good
take that up to his
tragedy.
wife. Yeah, but I mean, you know,
I'm just saying.
they found a way with the penis sleeve thing, and that seemed to be working. Like,
It seems it was
Fucking own
working, but apparently he felt bad. You know what I'm honestly thinking?
What?
He felt bad because his friend made fun of him. That's all I'm thinking at this moment.
I would definitely make fun of Dominic if he told me about a penis sleeve. Don't tell me shit like that, Dominic. I am not the guy to be telling stuff like that.
No.
I will mercifully make fun of you. I already make fun of him for putting umbrellas in his drink. I make fun of his Shirley Temples.
Do we have another one or another update?
We do, man. I've been so caught up on this one. And let me just finish the last couple of paragraphs for this. Okay, so the last thing I told my wife was to cancel all plans she made for my birthday, which is coming up this weekend. My wife likes to plan in advance and go for big special occasions, especially on my birthdays. I would not like that. I do not like celebrating my birthday. I don't want to know that my birthday happened. I just want to be left alone.
That's my husband.
Yeah, let's just celebrate you getting another year older. How about fuck off? How about just leave me be? And let me get old in peace. That's all I want. That's all I ever wanted. That's all I ever wanted.
You just sounded like my husband. He's like, I don't want anybody calling me. I want to have peace.
Guy says, I just gave her a heads up because I was in no mood to celebrate my birthday with her this year. I told her my sister had already made a reservation at a restaurant, and it was only, this guy's such a...
I mean, reservations at a restaurant are not a big...
My wife was extremely sad about it. She accepted it. So that's it. It says he went to a couples therapist to fix the sense of betrayal. I think this guy just needs to stop being
a little.
What should he stop being, Dominic? What should he stop being?
A little bitch.
Thank you.
You were right.
Thank you. Get over it, buddy. You got a small penis. What are you gonna do, man? You work with what you got. You're gonna have to just learn to do the things to make up for it, or just shut the fuck up. I want to hear about you. You got the penis sleeve down. You just use the fucking sleeve. So she told her friends, whatever. Ask her to join in next time. How about that? since you're so interested in telling your friends about our sex life, you might as well bring them in to be a precipient witness. How about that,
And
bitch?
that's when the marriage ends.
Well, if she wants to open up those doors, just show her that there's some consequences. But you gotta, I'm done with this guy.
Yes.
How
you
about
are.
that? All right. So let's move on to hypothetical number 2. How we doing in the chat, Dominic?
We're doing good.
You are missing so many good comments out here.
Oh, I put them on the screen. You just don't.
You gotta like clue me. There's gotta be like a noise when you put them on the screen.
It was in the previous video. It would ring.
Jules said he's a tiny whiny peen.
They do honestly take that too seriously.
Oh, you gotta
But I
get over
wouldn't-
that shit,
I
man.
really wouldn't blame them. Some girls take too seriously the size of their boobs. Some men take too seriously the size.
Yeah, it
the
is what
size
it
of their
is. But
penis.
but
It is
in
what it is.
but tell me if I'm wrong. In practice, men or women literally don't give a shit that
It's
much.
true.
Like they may have like some ideas when they're younger until they finally encounter, and then they
Life.
figured, yeah, and then it's like, you know what? It's not all as chalked up to be. And then they, they settle into whatever they settle into. Jules says, "What are you giving me that look for? She give me a look like that." She, Jules says that we are falling the fuck out. Pam says, "This is the attorney whose mug I'm supposed to." I'm sorry, Pam. I can't help it, man. It's just I get these hypotheticals. It's just
Don't you have the mug I gave you like years ago when you moved here?
yes.
It says something like snarky, something along the lines of
Something
that.
about world's best boss or something like that.
Often.
Yeah, it's holding my stirs right now. Let us move on to hypothetical number 2. So this person wants to know if they should consider divorce after his ex admitted. Oh, this was the psychic friend one.
Okay, say it.
Let's get a little of this one.
Uh-huh.
All right. So I met my wife, Rona, when we were in college together. I made the obviously terrible assumption that the fact she was in post-secondary education meant she had a modicum of common sense. We started dating our senior year, and after job hunting, settled on moving back to her hometown after graduating. We found an apartment, lived together for 2 years before getting married. All good so far. At our wedding, I met an old friend of hers, Anna. She offered to read my palm since she was part gypsy. That is weird. He says that that's weird. I'm in construction. I know a few people from that group, and they call themselves Roma. Whatever. Anna only comes to town every once in a while. She lives in New York City, so she doesn't have time to visit since she has an exciting life there. She makes costumes for plays and cosplayers, so we see her maybe 4 times over the next 2 years. Last time she came was Labor Day last year, and that's when it got weird. All of a sudden, Rona started acting oddly. She started checking in on me at work, coming by when I'm working late, asking to use my phone because hers is almost out of power, that sort of thing. My grandma used to do this shit. I'm gonna tell you a story afterwards. She finally comes out and accuses me of having an affair. I thought she was joking, so I laugh and I say that I'm not. This sets her off like a Roman candle because Anna told her I would laugh it off when Rona came for the truth. I laughed because it was ridiculous. I barely had time for a relationship with my wife and my job. I'm home all weekend long. When I go golfing, her brother is almost always either in my foursome or at the club. You want to know how your husband isn't cheating on you? At the times when you leave him alone at the house, if he stays his ass at the house, not going anywhere else, you're pretty safe. He's not doing anything effing around. What does that look for?
What if somebody comes into the house? That's not 100% true.
You got cameras, I'm assuming. What if
You have
everybody's?
cameras in your bedroom?
But you got ring cameras
No, I'm just asking.
around the perimeter of the house. Anybody that comes, there ain't
Well,
a.
not everybody has. Not
Well.
everybody has that.
All right, fair enough, I guess. No, so I laughed because it's ridiculous. Barely had time for relationship. Blah blah blah. So most important of all, I love my wife. I wouldn't do anything to harm her, and yet she takes the word of Anna, the psychic seamstress, over mine. She asks me to leave our apartment. I say no because I have nowhere else to go. So
Wait, what did Anna say? That he was cheating on her? Yeah.
I feel like, because Anna told her I would laugh it off when Rona. So she finally comes out and accuses me of having an affair. I thought she was joking, so I laugh and say that I am not. This sets her off like a Roman candle because Anna told her I would laugh it off when Rona came for the truth. I laughed because it was ridiculous. I barely had time for a relationship with my wife and my job. I am home all weekend long when I go
bitch.
golfing.
Anna wants to get into your husband's bed. I'm just saying.
Is that I don't know, would you play pretend psychic to get it with your friends' husbands?
I would not. I have my own husband. I love him. I don't have the need
Would
to
your
do that.
single friends do that?
I mean, I don't think so, but there's weird people all around.
That you're
Every single time you have a friend that's speaking badly about your husband or significant other in that way, it's because she wants to sleep with him. That's it. End of conversation. I'm just going to point it there because there's no need for you to do that. Really, there's not.
well. It just so happens that he continues. And most important of all, I love my wife, wouldn't do anything to harm her. She asked me to leave her apartment. Okay, I know where to go. So I spent the next few months working and trying to convince her that I'm not cheating and that I want her to come home. I don't get invited to Thanksgiving because it would be awkward. I didn't even stick around for Christmas. I went home to see my family. So they've been following all this stupidity without commenting until then. At Christmas, they had an intervention. They said my wife was having a break from reality and that she wasn't coming out of it. My dad told me to give my head a shake, which she only does when I'm being monumentally stupid. When I got back, I went to a lawyer and started my divorce. That was in January. Finally, at the beginning of April, Rona calls me to talk. I say that we should talk through lawyers. She starts to cry, and I agree to meet her in public if she will allow me to record our conversation so I can give a copy to my lawyer. She eventually agreed. Turns out her and her parents hired a private detective to find my affair. 6 months.
No affair.
And a huge bill later, zero evidence of an affair. She finally believes me, wants to come home. I tell her that our lease is up in July. I already found a job in Denver near my family. She says she would come with me. I respectfully declined. I told her we just weren't right for each other. The truth is, I do not want to have my offspring share DNA with this dingbat.
They don't have kids?
Nope.
Okay, good.
Anyway, I'm moving ahead with my divorce. I'm gutted that she took her friend's psychic vibrator over mine.
Vibrator.
He says psychic vibrator. I like it. Her family has approached me several times. The last time her dad offered to front us a 25% down payment on a house if I agree to go to marriage counseling. Bro, run for the hills, man. What the F? He says, I cannot be bought. Good for him. So Rona's now depressed, but I see no way of ever trusting her again. She is young enough. She can marry again or wreck some other guy's life. Should I get a divorce? Yeah, buddy. I think that you could get out now with minimal damage. There's no children. That lady is batshit crazy. She's taking the psychic advice of her friend Anna. She goes and
without proof.
Without
Just
proof,
because she's a psychic.
Tries to accumulate evidence to no avail, and then they try to get her dad to offer 25% of a down payment on a house if you agree to go. Get the F out of here. You need to divorce her yesterday, sir.
Mm-hmm.
You should do it now. You could do it with minimal conflict.
Friend is gonna come back and do something else.
100%. Stay away from the psychic friend, bro. Just go find somebody else.
Yeah, she's gonna want to get into your pants.
It's not worth the adventure. I can say in extreme confidence. Hey, Dominic, if there, could I just ask you, Melissa, I got to ask you this question. I cannot tell you the amount of women that told me that they were psychic.
No, I believe you.
Why do women say that? Do they think that men are dumb?
I don't know.
Like, it's literally like
stupid. I'm like,
okay, I just know that you're lying. How do you know that? Because I just know I have intuition. I have psychic abilities. Is that right? You know exactly what I'm thinking. You know exactly what it is. So tell me all about it then. Why do women play that card? Why is that even a thing?
Don't ask me.
Dominic, has women played that card on you?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you're so lucky.
Thank God.
You're so lucky. I've had multiple women tell me that they were psychic and they had these intuitive abilities. And they had all of this knowledge, and it's like, get the fuck out of here, man. What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
If you have the opportunity to leave and to leave without incident, I recommend that you do that. Yeah, come to my office. I'll get you divorced. It'll be pretty quick. It doesn't seem like y'all have a lot of property, no kids to worry about. We could get you guys bifurcated, just get you officially divorced. We could worry about whatever property issues, and I'm sure her dad is going to make her pursue, and then we'll deal with it, man. That is that case. How we doing on time? We're almost an hour in. Okay, we'll wrap up in like we'll do one more. How about that?
Mm-hmm. So we covered psychic friends. We covered
penis sleeves.
Penis sleeves. What's next?
All right. This guy wants to know if this lady wants to know
It's a lady. Mm-hmm.
if she should divorce her husband after she spent the night with his ex.
She did that?
He did that.
Oh yeah, divorce that asshole.
Why don't you wait till I get into the hypothetical and jump to conclusions over there? Freaking might all.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
Change my mind.
Vagisil over there. We've been married since September.
Okay.
To get
September of what year?
2019. 2019.
Almost 5.
They're expecting their first child. So pump the brakes on that one a little bit, no? So I love him very much. No other issues, but his dear friend Emma, who is also his ex-girlfriend.
Uh-huh.
In the beginning, it was a lot of touchy-feely. Even before I knew they were exes, I found it odd.
Oh, so she had no idea. Yeah, divorce that asshole.
I'll give you the 100% real deal, Holyfield truth on if your guy is doing that with his ex after I read this hypothetical.
Okay, go ahead.
When I later found out they were together for several years, I mentioned my discomfort to him. And at first, he thought it was ridiculous.
Several years.
But later, he respected my feelings and set boundaries. I don't consider myself the jealous type, not even remotely.
Okay.
My husband has a lot of friends, both male and female, and I trusted him like he trusted me. But sitting on my lap, at the time, fiance's lap, acting cute and childish, was just a boundary that was crossed
She did that?
for me.
Omar, give us your thoughts about the lap sitting.
I think you know my thoughts about the lap sitting. What did I tell you last week about the lap sitting? What would your husband say if you go to sit on some other guy's lap?
Remember, he saw your podcast and
he was in the full agreement.
100% right with you.
What would he have said before he saw my podcast?
He would still say that that's not good. That's not appropriate. He wouldn't like it at all, believe me.
But would he forcefully declare, don't you ever, 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 in the course of this relationship, ever sit on another man's lap like that? What is wrong with you? What do you think is going to happen? Oh, you think it's just safe? You're going to put your naked ass cheeks on some other guy's leg.
Your naked ass cheeks.
Your clothed ass cheeks, whatever, man. You're going to put your ass cheeks on some other guy's leg and think that nothing's going to be happening. Get the fuck out of here. You ever do that again? What's wrong with you? You know?
Okay, keep going.
And I would think that you were bimbo-ish if you try to defend the position. That's what I would think. I bet you that's what your husband would think. I know that you're not a bimbo. I also know that you wouldn't ever do that.
No.
All right. But to the thing, oh, but he was gay. It was, it was clearly no.
Said like no.
All right. Let me read this again.
She was sitting on his lap.
My husband has a lot of friends, both male and female, and I trusted him like he trusted me. But sitting on my, at the time, fiance's lap, acting cute and childish, was just a boundary that was crossed for me. I can't get mad at her for that. I can't. Go watch your ex, your husband's ex, go sit on his lap and see how quickly you grow. You go for the steak knife.
He wouldn't dare.
Of course he wouldn't.
To do that.
You're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? He would swat her away like a
He
fly.
would be so much scared of me. Whatever.
He wouldn't be afraid of you. I bet you would be angry. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're trying to get me over here, trying to get me in a situation. I didn't tell you to sit on my lap. I bet you that's what would happen. If somebody were trying to sit on my lap like that, and my wife was right there, it's like, what in the fuck is wrong with you? Get off of my, what is wrong? Are you okay? Are you hearing voices? Is there a ringing in your ears?
Are you seeing the light?
Because clearly nobody who was well would have done exactly what you just done right now. That's what would have been the discussion. And I would have told my, hey, I didn't have nothing. I didn't tell her to sit right there. I didn't tell her to sit right there. And I'll tell you what my wife would have done. She would have threw her off the fucking boat. So what she would have done, she would have grabbed her by the hair and tossed her straight off of the boat. That's what she would have done. I know, because you did it before. I had to save her from a lifetime of a jail cell in
I'm so
Mexico.
sorry. I do side with her.
All right. So he didn't come home Saturday. He called me, said that he was very drunk and staying at his buddy's house the morning after. He casually told me
The buddy's house.
that
So a
he
friend's
spent
house.
the night at Emma's. I literally wanted to vomit. I packed my things and called my dad to come and pick me up. I did it when he was at work on Monday. I texted him that it was over and I'm done. Could I just explain to you, if I was ever in a situation where I was somehow not in a position to have a place to stay, there would never be any inkling in my mind to call up an ex of mine to go stay at their place. I would sleep in my car.
Not even.
Matter of fact, that would probably be like option 2, and I would settle it at that. I'm sleeping in my car, and then I'm leaving in the morning. There's no reason to go spend at an ex's house. Do you know my exes? Jesus Christ.
No,
It's
I
just,
don't.
that's just
Now I'm
asking for
scared.
trouble.
I mean, from what you've told me, if you ever do that, they may either kill you, they may take your kidneys out and sell them.
I don't know what they would do, but it wouldn't be good. And it would be 100% disrespectful to
Your significant
your
other.
husband or your wife to go and, oh, I'm going to spend the night with my ex because I didn't have
The
a place to
hell
stay.
you're not.
Get the fuck out of here. You got my credit card. Go get a room at the Marriott or something. The fuck is wrong with you?
Literally.
There's no scenario where that's, oh, it's like the last resort. Just get out of here, man. Come on. There's just, there is not a plausible scenario of him doing that is above board.
You know what happened with my husband once? He's gonna hate me for saying this out loud. But he's gonna fucking hate me. But anyway, we were just a year into dating, I remember. And he told me, like, this person called me. That was a relationship he had before me. She doesn't live here anymore. She lives in her country. But when she used to live here, she lived with her, I think it was her aunt. She had cancer. The aunt.
Yeah.
So she came for a vacation to be with her aunt because her aunt was childless.
Okay.
So she wanted to see him. And my face was like, oh, that's really nice. You're not going. And he's like, but think about her. I was like, I don't give a shit about the aunt. I am so sorry. I feel bad for her. I really do. But I don't care. That's an excuse.
There was one time.
That was a flat out excuse.
I'll tell you where there's one time when I was first dating my wife.
Mhm.
We were like maybe months into dating.
Okay.
And there was a lady that I knew from high school. And she's like, oh, like I'm in the area. It's like, and at the time, like I worked at this building and like downstairs, like this entire shopping center. It's like, oh yeah, come on by. And like, there's like a coffee place or whatever. She brought her kids. She had like 3 kids or whatever. She was married.
And you went to eat.
I went downstairs to like go hang out. And I told my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife.
Eat with her? Did you pay for her lunch?
I don't think we had lunch. I think we just like met downstairs, like to talk, like sitting at a bench with their kids, like right there. Cause I hadn't seen her in like 20 years. And she was like, I don't know. I'd known my girlfriend who's now my wife for like maybe a month or 2 or 3. And I didn't think that it was that big of a deal because she can't have like nefarious intentions like with her kids right there. And so, yeah, I went downstairs to like go hang out. And oh, my wife was mad at me. She was like, she got mad. Like, obviously that bitch was trying to get you.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna side with her.
That's not the way to do that. If that's what she was trying to do, like she brought her kids. She was married. She brought all of her baggage along with her. Like, why would that be appealing to any guy? That doesn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense to me. And I don't know. I feel in that situation that whatever her intentions were not to like have like some kind of weird fling with her kids, like right there. I don't know. I don't see I don't see the connection. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. The fact that you're remaining silent tells me that I probably have a point.
You do, but at the same time, I will be mad. I side with her. I would be so pissed.
You could be mad about it, but it's like irrationally mad, I feel like. It's
She maybe was trying to get you.
I
It could be a possibility. Or it could be a 50-50. We don't know.
if you were trying to get a guy, would you bring your 3 kids in
Omar,
tow?
I said it's a 50-50.
Oh yeah, I'm interested in this guy. Let me just bring all of my kids. And like maybe.
And you said husband.
Yeah, and she's married at the time.
They could propose a threesome. Who knows?
Well, she didn't propose a threesome. So
Okay,
how about that?
but your wife did not know that at the time.
I told her, but she wasn't confident in my response, I guess. Whatever, man. So all I'm saying is,
But this guy, this woman,
I'll tell you what,
she should fucking divorce her ass husband and take everything she can.
Jesus, you work here. You know that's not how that works.
We don't
Second of
know
all,
what state that is in.
It doesn't matter. Let's just say it's a community property state. They're gonna split it down the middle.
Let's say that, but let's say this is one of the states that actually like punishes
Adulterous?
adultery.
What if he
Get
was
him
raped?
for every.
What if he was roofied? What if she slipped him?
You're not gonna play the rape card at me. Do not.
Could I just say something, man?
No, you're not.
I was willing at the time when I had known my girlfriend for a couple of months to like entertain a 15-minute meeting at a workbench in like the height of day in like full broad public view with her 3 kids, knowing that she was a married person that I hadn't seen for 20
They
years.
could propose a threesome. I'm just saying.
Well, it wasn't proposed. Second of all,
How does she know that? She was not there.
I guess that's a fair point. But it's just a weird way to go about recruiting a guy that you're interested in, go bringing all your baggage along.
Like I
For
said,
the
she
ride.
could be proposing a threesome. I've heard of married couples that actually engage in threesomes for like seasons, stuff like that, to spice their marriage. It's ridiculous in my opinion. But
With
they
the
do it.
upside down pineapple on the cruise ship door.
Yes. Something along the
Y'all are
lines of that.
freaks, man. What's wrong with you? Y'all need Jesus. I rebuke you in the name of Satan. In the name of Satan. In the name of Jesus. I rebuke you. My grandma would say that. I'm honoring her memory. You know, want to know a funny story? I have decided that this Halloween I'm going to decorate my house in honor of my grandmother. My grandmother was this very religious Catholic religious person. When she would see stuff like that, iconography of like zombies and demons and death or whatever,
That's profane.
he once went to like a trick-or-treating with my daughter Raven. In the course of going trick-or-treating, she encountered a haunted house. There was this guy that was dressed as like Dr. Death with like a scythe and all of that stuff. And then he walks up on her, and then she turns around and she points her finger at him. I rebuke you, you prick.
I could imagine Raven's face. Like
she rebuked him in the name of Jesus. And oh, she was so of that ilk, man. Born in 1941. She was so of that ilk. Oh, she was something, man. What was I talking about? I forgot what we were talking about.
that she should divorce her ass husband, take everything, and just leave.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, it's one thing to go down there for a 15-minute thing during your lunch break with her kids
In a neutral place, like you
in
said.
a neutral place,
Day of light.
like high noon. The
But
kids are
he's-
involved.
But he spent.
But to spend the night at her place, get the fuck out of here. There is no scenario when I was a single man where I'm staying the night at somebody else's place and there's not some shenanigans going on.
Exactly.
None.
And this is not
Dominic,
single, he's
do you
a married
co-sign
man.
on this?
Yes.
Yes. 25-year-old co-signer over here. Look, there's no chance that there was not shenanigans afoot. Him going to stay at his ex's house under those scenarios.
And apparently, and not only that, if he said he was going to stay at a buddy's house, it means he was not only with her, he was with a group of friends.
Could I just explain to you how absurd that statement is? If I was like on my way from New Mexico, which I made the drive before, New Mexico to California,
Mhm.
and it was like 2 a.m, and my options were stay with an ex or just drive the fuck home. There's no scenario, there's 0 in 100 scenarios that I'm staying with my ex. Under any circumstances, I would sleep in my car before I did that. I would stay at the Marriott before I did that. I would just continue driving until I got home before I did that. In New Mexico to California is like a 12-hour drive. I would just make the drive. Have it. We're loading up on some Red Bull. I'm loading up on some, caffeine pills, but I'm going to get home. I'm not staying with this Jezebel ex-girlfriend of mine who's probably going to try to roofie my ass. Cheers to that, pal.
Not only that, your wife would slander you.
I don't know if my wife would slander me. She would just say, you know what? Wherever you're staying right now, why don't you just stay the fuck there?
Fuck there and leave me the hell alone.
It's exactly what, wherever you're at, you know what? Just stay there. I'm going to go to my parents' house. That's exactly what she would say. Oh, anyway, I haven't even gotten halfway through. Okay, so my friends think that I'm overreacting. My parents are supportive, but only because they respect my decisions and always have. They haven't uttered their opinion. My husband is going mental, and Emma, well, she texted me swearing me up. Emma texted you? Swearing up and down that nothing happened with a LOL. And
It did happen.
don't be this insecure. Get the fuck out of here.
It did happen. And she's letting you know, and she's rubbing it on your face as the prize, as a trophy.
Yeah. Divorce that effing guy. Hey, come to my office.
You see, I told you.
Come to my office. I'll let you pay in installments. No down payment. Look, I'll ask him for the attorney fees, man. Come to my office. We'll work it all out. That guy is 100% effing his ex. There's no chance that he's not. Am I wrong, Melissa? Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. You're absolutely on the right. And not only that, she's trying to be you. Just saying.
Trying to be me.
Emma is trying to be the wife.
Oh, trying to be the wife. Yeah. I don't know about all that. I think she's trying to like, ha ha ha, got your husband. Ha ha. He's been with me this night.
If they were together in a relationship for several years, which is what they described before, and the wife did not know that, and they were still talking, I am so sorry if you guys are going to come at me in the comments or whatever. I do not believe in let's be friends after we break up. No.
Hey, Melissa,
no.
How many times have anybody ever come for you in the comments?
No, I'm just saying because I once said something about Hawaii, and then a lot of people started commenting like Hawaii it's in the United States, Melissa. Hawaii is in the States. I was like, I never said that. I never said it wasn't. So I'm just saying, no, there's no friendship post breakup. I am so sorry. You can be cordial. That's one thing, but not friends.
Hey, Dominic, is there stuff that you're putting on the screen that I'm just not?
I think he hasn't.
Jill says, yeah, fuck that. With the FUG. I love Jules, man. It's so good to have Jules back in the comments, man. She's been gone for like a month. She's been going through a tough time. Give lots of love to Jules, man. I miss her. I'm glad that she's back here. Moira says, Melissa's awesome. Got the answer way before the whole hypotheticals read out. She did. Woman, is that the women's intuition?
No.
Are you a psychic, Melissa?
Omar, the title said, am I the asshole? Wait. Am I the asshole for wanting to get a divorce? What is the title?
That was the title.
Am I the asshole
for divorcing my husband who wanted to spend the night with his ex?
It's pretty self-explanatory.
Let me just lay it out for you. For a husband who is above board, for a husband who has no ill intention whatsoever, for a husband that is committed to you and you only, and you were his wife and he is your husband and you were the love of his life and he's committed to you and the children, there is not a scenario out of a million that he would stay the night with an ex-girlfriend.
Not even if they dragged him.
None. He'd have to be drugged and unconscious.
Dragged, not dragged.
I can tell you in good confidence that if anybody offered me a place to stay as I was on the road in the wee morning hours of whatever, the twilight, and it was either stay with them or sleep in my car, I'm sleeping in my effing car.
With all the locks placed and with your key next to you.
I'd prefer to sleep in my car. I just went over. It's like, hey, your family is visiting from Bakersfield. They can get an effing hotel. They're not staying here. It's like, I didn't ask them to stay here. They're going to stay with my grandma. It's like, yeah, but if I were in a position to have to either stay with your family or get a hotel, I'm getting an effing hotel. I'm
Because
not
you're
staying with your
gringo.
hotel. Because I am a Mexican that identifies as gringo.
Stop it.
I reject your statement. I am not a gringo.
Yes, you are.
Okay, I'm a gringo. But my blood and my DNA says that I am a Native American with Mexican blood. Is what I am.
At 5%, you don't have the customs.
Customs of what?
You don't have the culture as well.
I'm 33% Native American, 33% Southern American, and 33% Italian.
Where's the Mexican in there?
And the Native American and the Mexican, retard.
So it's 33. It's 33.
67%.
Shit.
My God.
Bullshit. Please. The fact that you just mentioned the hotel with your family just tells everything.
No, that just
Every
tells.
Latino person in the universe knows that if you dare to not stay with your family when you're traveling, the disrespect is humongous.
That
They're gonna
doesn't
look down
mean
on you.
anything other than I'm bougie. I'm bougie as F. I admit. When I go on
It's
vacation,
like if I go home, if I go to my hometown and I don't stay with my mom, she's gonna kill me. She's gonna hate me for it.
Mom, I'm not staying with you. I'm just gonna stay in a hotel. I'll be there in the morning. All right.
I swear
It'd be
to
all
God,
right. I promise.
I swear to God, she'll drag me from the hotel. Like, no. you're
Luckily,
not
I'm a
doing it.
guy. And so if my daughters want to stay, I would invite my daughter to stay home. But I feel like, I don't know, man.
You think they wouldn't want to?
My daughters are always welcome to my house. Always. To the end of time until I'm dead. They're always gonna have a place to stay in my home. But I would understand if their husbands were like, no, I think we're gonna stay in a hotel. But like, all right, cool. Because I get it. I understand. Provider, you're the husband, whatever. I can 100% understand it. I would not be offended. I would not be offended. I just wouldn't. I would get it. Hey, chat, am I wrong? Am I wrong with that? Devance Moore says, if I stayed with my mom, they'd have to bury me. Fuck does that?
That sounds really bad. Going back to my mom's.
Andrea Ellerby says, you better feed her for all this stress, Omar. Stress for who? Who's the one the stress? I'm not sure if they're talking about you or they're talking about my wife or somebody. I don't know, man. She says mine would require I was there if it was really to help, and I wouldn't, so it wouldn't happen. Yeah, Andrea, could I just tell you unequivocally, there is not a scenario that connects logically with reality. That your husband, if he tells you that, did not go to stay the night with his ex unless it was to ejaculate inside of her.
He said it. This just reminds me when I was in high school, I went, was it what, nine gag was in fashion. There was a little screenshot of an iMessage conversation. It was like, hey babe, I'm so sorry I didn't text you the entire day. Something really bad happened. I broke my arm at work and Paula is driving me to the hospital. I love you. I'm right here. So if you want to come see me, please come. I love you. You know what you know what her answer was?
What was her answer?
Who's Paula? And I was like, I would 100% answer the same way. And I was 15 years old when I read that. My question was like, who the fuck is Paula?
Andrea says, oh, I'm not married. I ain't doing that dumb shit again, but I do have a partner. Yes, ma'am. Andrea sounds like a woman of experience. I would not F with her. She's been down the block. She knows what it is, man. Missy Ann says, damn, you went there, but you're 100 right. No, I went there because it's truth. I went there because it is the oh, look, they're telling that you're so pretty. They think that you have a pretty face. Bitch, they're there because they're trying to ejaculate inside of you, inside of your private parts. They don't have any interest in you whatsoever. I promise you that. As soon as it's over, as soon as the sun comes up, they are gone. They used to write songs about this in the 70s.
I actually think he may like his ex because if she has been around for that long.
I cannot. I have so much contempt for all of my exes. There's no scenario where you would find me logically shacking up with an ex of mine for any
You,
period of
because
time.
You've had weirdos. But let's say she's not a weirdo. She's just a pick-me girl.
A pick me. Explain to me what a pick me girl is.
Is this girl that tries to play it cool and she's one of the guys and everything, and in reality it's just because she wants somebody to pick her. That's why
Dominic,
it's called a pick me girl.
you got to learn the difference, man. There's a difference between these pick me girls and regular girls. You're 25, you're a youngster. I get it, man. But you just have to learn discernment.
But
You
this
have
is
to
a-
learn discernment.
This is a pick me girl, 100%. She took the liberty of texting her.
Could I ask you a question? How many exes of yours would you offer to stay the night with you, given your situation?
I've only had a real one, and no, I don't think you would.
Shit. Could I just explain something? If my wife ever invited an ex of hers to come into my home, there would be bloodshed. And she knows that shit. She knows that.
You know,
it would never be a possibility.
My husband tried to paint the picture of that on me, and I was like, oh, that is so nice. Yeah, not happening. Literally, that was I stayed calm the entire time. My inside was trying to explode, and I just listened to his entire bullshit. And then I was like, that
what
is
bullshit?
really
What was
cute.
his bullshit? What was his bullshit?
So this is an ex he had for Omar like 15 years ago. So it was a long time. It was his first relationship.
Okay.
And
High school sweetheart. I get it.
See, okay. And he was telling me that she had just got her visa.
Okay.
And that she was in a relationship with somebody else, and they both had got their visa, and that they wanted to come to the States. They had been in Miami, stuff like that, but they wanted to go to California. They wanted to know Los Angeles and the surroundings, and hotels are expensive here. So she wanted to see if she could stay at his house. And I was like, that is so nice. That's not happening. That was my face. Like, that is so cute. It's not happening. He's like, but why? I was like, do you really have the audacity of asking why? But she has a boyfriend. I was like, I don't give a shit. What does that change the other factor? No, it doesn't.
I'll just tell you this: men are not that dumb. There's not a chance.
Playing stupid.
He's playing stupid. Wait, who are we talking about?
I'm talking about my husband.
I'm not implicating your husband in anything. I need to hear the fact pattern.
He's not playing stupid. He was not playing. Either he was sincerely thinking it was not bad, or like you said, he was playing stupid.
I don't know. In that scenario, I could see where he would be naive to think that everything was above board. I could see that.
Yeah, because there's another factor.
But I'm also a grown man. And so being 43 years old, and how old is your husband? Like what, 20? He's in the 30s now,
yeah,
right?
when he said that, he was 25.
He was just a youngster, man. You can't hold him to account for that. But if he was 43,
I was younger than him, and I was like, hell no. So
imagine I was 43 and I'm going to say some stupid shit like that. You would know that something was wrong. You would just know it.
The best part about that is that he kept saying that I was overreacting, and then I brought his sister in, and I told her, and she's like, "Are you crazy?" Like, you see?
Jules says, "Hey Omar, I got a divorce story for advice for the next flat because I'm dying to hear your raw take on that." Well, you know what you should do? You know what you should do, Jules? You should call into the call-in number that Dominic has laid out, and I'll do it live right now. I'll do it right now on the air. But for sure, if you're shy about it, then you could by all means DM me, and then we will go about it like that. Dominic says, Jules, send it to the tilted. Yeah, send it to my email or call in. And I will do your scenario. Marcy Cruz says the sweethearts kinds are the worst. Oh, I got the sweethearts thing out of my system. I told you all about that one.
The sweethearts?
Yeah, when I met up with like my high school sweetheart from like back in the 90s.
Oh yeah, they are the worst.
We reconnected, and it was just like, you were not how I imagined you to be.
Exactly.
You were kind of weird. I don't like you. I gave her some Uber money. I paid for an Uber. It was just not what I imagined it was going to be. Why are you even looking at me like that?
No, just listen.
My friends think that I'm over. Okay, I think we read all of this stuff. All right. I think our conclusion with all that is pretty much the same, correct?
Yeah, divorce your fucking cheating husband.
Divorce the guy. He's a retard. I know I shouldn't say retard, but he is a non-intelligent,
He's a piece
Um,
of shit.
uninspired. He's gaslighting you.
Pedazo de mierda. Piece of shit. I don't know how to say it in another language.
There's no guy that. Hey, Dominic, under what scenario, if you were dating a person, would you go stay with your ex with a straight face?
None.
You know what you're going down there for. You're going down there to drain your balls, and there ain't no other scenario that makes any kind of sense. That's what it's for. All right. Let us do one more. Let us do one more.
I need to wrap up.
Okay, we'll wrap it. You got 15 minutes?
Mhm.
All right, we got 15 minutes. We'll do this one in 15 minutes.
What happened?
All right, so this person says they want to know if they should get a divorce because they are offended that their wife was their wife was tempted with cheating on them. So let's reserve judgment. Let's hear this guy out.
That's weird.
I have a lot of thoughts on this, and I'm going to give you my Uncle Omar truth on all of this, the conclusion. But let's hear this guy out. He's 33, so he's a youngster. My wife is 32, been married for 8 years. So they were 24, 25 when they got married. We have one child, 3 years old. He was unplanned, but not unwanted. Get the fuck out of here, dude. You got a kid. When my wife found out that she was pregnant, it obviously came as a surprise. She had been taking birth control ever since we started it. Yeah, my wife did the same thing. I still ended up with another kid. Shit happens because your women are not all that diligent about taking their birth control.
Do not make me start on that.
Start on it. What do you got to say? What you got to say?
You're half responsible.
If I think that you're taking birth control,
You're half responsible. Still gonna point it out. I am so
and you
fucking
don't take your
sorry.
birth control,
I
if you're
am so sorry. You're half responsible.
okay, could I do you one better, Batman?
No, you're not.
Let's just say that the dude is wearing a condom, and you think that you're safe. The condom
That's
breaks,
different.
and the condom breaks, and he doesn't tell you about it, and he just continues as if nothing happened. Are you still responsible for your bullshit?
That's different. He didn't tell you.
No.
100% responsible.
She's supposed to be on birth control. The understanding is that they're in a
Then
relationship.
why the fuck are you gonna wear a condom if you're on birth control? I'm just asking, just pointing it out.
They're not, because you're not in birth control. That's why you would wear the condom.
Exactly.
But if the
he's saying that
woman,
she is.
if the woman said that she's on birth control and she neglects to take her pills on schedule, compromising the birth control, how is that the guy's fault?
First of all, if you don't want kids, you should not be ejaculating in there. I'm just pointing it out, just saying it out loud. You use the word, I am using it too.
Ejaculating is not like a nefarious word. It's the scientific term.
Exactly.
And so the fact that you needed to point that out, I don't know. I feel like
That's the only explanation.
if there's an understanding that the woman is on birth control, and there's an understanding that the woman, I only say this because it happened to me. Olivia was born.
I am so sorry she gave you a heads up. You even told me yourself.
The doctor was mad at her. I wasn't even mad at her. The
That was
doctor
not-
was mad at
That
her.
was not for
The
that
doctor
was
said,
not for that time.
I told you to get on birth control. What in the F was wrong with you? So, I didn't know it could happen so fast. I thought she was on birth control the whole time. You know what I get a result of it? I get Olivia and Evelyn 15 months after the
I am
fact.
so sorry, but she did give you a heads up before. And second of all, you were thinking about doing this. You were so chickeny about it that you didn't want to do it. So
That
I'm
is true.
sorry.
I still have not been snipped to this day.
You see? You see? He's scared of it.
No.
Oh, what am I missing? Oh, Andrea says penises aren't like Teslas. You got to pull them out yourself. Except that hasn't been like rational scientific logic since 1932. It's not the fact that of the pull out method is the way you end up with kids.
No, it's
The pull out method is how you end up with unexpected. Dominic, do not let these women tell you that the pull out method is safe. I promise you, it's going on good authority, like 300 years old, that it is not an effective method of birth control. Could we just get that? Could we get over that? Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
just get over
You
it.
keep on
She's
saying
really
that.
dumb.
You said that 2 weeks in a row. I can just tell you, okay, fair point to the ejaculation inside, because you increase the, could I just say that if you think that your woman is on birth control and you think that it's safe,
You should anyway not be doing that. I'm just gonna point it
oh
out.
my God.
Like really, if you really don't want kids,
Marcy says, I just heard from an old friend that hasn't IUD for 8 years. She's pregnant with a little girl due in November.
Do
Sex
not
has
bring that bad luck
consequences.
to me. Please get it away. Thank you so much.
You know what, man? You know what, man? You cannot put the fact that you know that there are failures in birth control. You cannot, if you get pregnant, just put that all on your husband for ejaculating inside.
I'm not putting it all on him. I said he has 50% of the.
If
the
a man
child.
is under the impression that a woman is on birth control and they choose to ejaculate inside, that is not the fault of the man. You cannot, you could say equal responsibility, fine, but it is not his fault. You led him to do that under false pretenses.
I'm not. She didn't let him. He wanted to.
Of course he wanted to. But why the fuck would he do that? Because he thought that she was on birth control.
I'm just saying it's 50-50 all the time, but go on. Okay, he has a child, an unwanted kid.
Jesus Christ. All right.
It reminded me of Eva Longoria in Desperate Housewives.
I do not want to know anything about Eva Longoria. I'm so not of that life. All right. All right. So married 8 years, one child. So when my wife found out that she was pregnant, it obviously came as a surprise. She had been taking birth control ever since we started dating, since we agreed that we were not financially ready to have a kid. However, after being married for 5 years and advancing our careers, we felt like we could make it work. Thus, we decided to keep the child and began planning for the next phase of our lives. Prior to Kate getting pregnant, she worked as a waitress at a local restaurant, making just above. I'm not sober enough to be doing this hypothetical, man. I got so many things to say. Making just above minimum wage once tips were factored in. On the other hand, I am a construction worker who made 2 to 3 times more than her at the time. We lived in a decent apartment, but we agreed that we would need a real house to have the space for our child. So we began looking for our first home. During that process, and as Kate's pregnancy went further along, she quit her job to focus on preparing for the baby. We found a house that we liked, but it was more expensive than I was hoping for. I made good money working construction, but having to fund 2 people, a new mortgage, and buy all the supplies a baby needs is not easy. And I could co-sign on that. I used to think that I was rich until I had not just 1, but 2 brand new kids. And I just realized, like, God, I don't make enough. I really don't. It's startling how expensive children are.
And the lawyer is pointing that out. Imagine all of us mortals that are not attorneys or have this type of.
It's not enough.
professions.
Whatever you think it is, it's not enough. So I began putting in more hours at work to be able to afford everything, resulting in me being able to spend less time at home with my wife. The baby finally comes.
Mhm.
He's a healthy little boy. I couldn't be more proud. But once he was born, Kate began to change. She was more tired and stressed, having to care for a
No
newborn,
shit, Sherlock.
which that 100% happens. Get the fuck out of here. If you're not expecting it, then fuck you. Which I don't. If your girlfriend or your wife is about to have a child and you're expecting her to attend to your sexual needs at an
Be
equal
super
level,
gloomy and like
then
no.
you are a effing idiot. Get the F out of here. She's going to be more focused on the child for a long time. It's called a nesting phase. It's just what happens. If you're not ready for us, then I don't know what to tell you, buddy. You're going to need to grow up. Also, so I essentially had to raise my little brother. What is he on about? This guy wants a medal. He was more tired and stressed, having to care for a newborn, which I don't blame her for at all. Oh, good for you. Here's the cookie. I know kids are a lot of work. I say, do you know that by now? I feel like, am I out of bounds by being super annoyed with this guy right now, Melissa? What do you think?
No, you're not.
I know kids are a lot of work. Essentially, I had to raise my little brother who was 10 years younger than me growing up. However, Kate would also complain that I wasn't around very often, and that when I was home, I wouldn't help the baby as much as that she thought I should. I explained to her that to be able to afford the house, the baby, and the 2 of us by myself, I had to put in a lot of extra hours. What?
What's your husband's name?
Teddy.
Oh, he's in chat.
Teddy's in the chat. Where's Teddy? Put up his thing. Teddy says, that's true. Whatever I said, he says, that's true.
Yeah, that's his picture. It is thing.
He says, explain our beautiful for the house, but I got to work extra. Okay, so I lift heavy shit for a living. I'm lucky to be able to make it through the day without my back being terribly sore.
That's what I
Still,
was gonna say.
I try to help out more I changed diapers where I could. I fed the baby where I could. The one thing I refused to do was get up in the middle of the night, which is something I know upsets her.
Of course it's gonna upset her.
I've lived through this. I've lived through this multiple times now. You cannot delegate 100% that responsibility to your wife and expect everything to just be peaches and cream. You got to have shifts. You got to take turns. I remember my wife and I, he would put the kids to bed at 8. I would go check on them at 10.
Okay.
And then I would check on them again at 1.
Okay.
And then she would get them at 4 because after 1, I was going to bed. She would go to bed like between the hours of 8 and whenever. So I would get them, we'd have those shifts. So she could get at least 6 hours. I could get at least 6 hours.
That's what I was gonna say.
It was
So she
division
puts
of
them at
duty.
8 and then she gets them back at 4.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
And I get them from 10 to 1. And then she would have this pump and I would feed the girls their bottles with the breast milk in it. And that's how we would just do that. You got to tag team it. You have to. If there was babies, if there was diapers to change, you would change them. But she needs to have her sleep because I don't want her being in a position where she's so frustrated that she just starts drowning the kids.
Actually funny. My husband's in the chat. We spoke about this yesterday because there was somebody saying that that specific task, getting up in the middle of the night, should be something that both dads and mom should share because they generally put it all on mom. And then let's say mom has to go back to work and then dad has to do it. The baby doesn't want that because he practically doesn't know him.
There's a way to do it. You just got to do it. Look, if I was a night owl, so I usually go to bed like 1, 2 in the morning. So it was nothing for me to check on the girls at 10 and 1.
Yeah.
Wife goes to bed earlier. She wakes up at 4. It just made sense that way. And she got to sleep. And even that wasn't a perfect scenario, but
never gonna be.
You can't just leave that that's the quickest way to get divorced, man. It's just, leave all that to your wife and see how that works out.
What happened next?
So all right, I changed diapers when I could. I fed the baby where I could. The one thing I refused to do was get up in the middle of the night, which is something I know upsets her. No shit. My reasoning is that I'm barely getting 5 hours of sleep a night. And if I get any less, I'm going to be an utter wreck on the job. That's easily fixable for the reasons that we had just described. Am I out of whiskey? Sure. God damn it. All right. I'm running dry. My reason, okay. As time went on, we kept making it work. Eventually, things get less crazy and stressful. The older the kids get, the less constant attention and work he needs from us. That's not saying caring for a toddler is easy, but it's easier than caring for an infant who can't sleep through the night. 2 months ago, Kate suggested that she get a regular job again and that we use the extra income to pay for a nanny. My kids just graduated from their nanny. Matter of fact, they're both in school. Yeah. We fired our nanny because
we didn't fire her.
We 100% fired her. Well, we let her go. Her services are no longer needed.
Exactly. They graduated.
Because my daughter's in TK, my other daughter's in kindergarten, and my eldest daughter is in college.
So no need.
Yeah, so another bill that I don't have to pay for. Now I'm just paying the kinder care.
Is it like a normal day, like a 7 to 2?
It's like pretty much it's like a 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. You could pick them up earlier or later, pretty much. But whatever we were getting from the nanny, we're now able to pay for with kinder care.
But they're over there like
it's like
with some kids.
$300-$400 a week or something like that, which is about the same, a little bit less than what we were paying for a nanny. So there's that. You want to have kids? Those are the expenses. $1,600 a month. That is preposterous. That is as much as a mortgage. Yep. So y'all might want to think twice about how careful you're going to be going forward if you're going to be thinking about that. Anyway, these people. So where are we at? I agree because I was exhausted and the idea of being able to put in less overtime sounded great. So she suggested she gets a regular job. I get it. So fast forward to last night. Kate has been working as a cashier for 6 weeks now. That is mind-numbing work. We've hired a nanny. The money situation isn't nearly as tight as I was able to work less. Though with Kate working now, I'm not able to see her in the mornings, which is usually when I would see her due to how my shifts work. I thought things were going great until Kate sits me down last night to have a conversation. Here it comes. Yeah, this is the temptation one. This is what happens when you do shit like this. So she admitted to me that there's a guy at her work who's been flirting with her despite knowing that she's married. On average, guys that are not attached to anything, that see pretty girls at work, could give a F about your attachment status. They're going to flirt with you if it is their prerogative to do so. They really don't care if you're married. What's that mean to them? They didn't marry the guy. She says that he's funny, easygoing, handsome, etc. She said that he asked if she was available to go on a date behind my back. And though she said no, she was sorely tempted to say yes. This blindsided me then. But now that I've had a day to think about it, I think I can see how this happened. She was always upset that I wasn't home very often, wasn't there to help and support her with the kid and so on. Our current arrangement allowed me to have more energy when I came home. But since she leaves for work in the morning before I wake up, the actual duration of time I see her each day has shrunk even further. Oh, I got lots to say about this topic. I think that the reason she was tempted by this guy at work is that he's giving her the attention she wants from me. I can understand that, but it also pissed me off. I could 100% unequivocally say that it's not just that. When you have a child who's a baby, who's a toddler, and you're staying at home to care for them, and you're doing all this extra work, and you don't have time for yourself, and all of your time is devoted to your children, any time that you get outside of your house that's like adult time, even if it's like with your sister, even if it's like, I don't know, with your cousin or whatever, is going to feel like such a retreat from real life, that you get to be human again, that your needs get to matter again, that how attractive you are sort of matters again, that your needs and your desires and your thoughts are being paid attention to again, as opposed to sacrificing 100% of yourself for the sake of a newborn or a toddler. It's not so much that you weren't able to pay the attention to her. It was just that on top of that, she's getting to feel human in a way that she doesn't get to feel for you. And the temptation is going to be palpable, not just for you.
Not from you.
For her, not just from her, but for him as well. It cannot be the case that she's feeling these temptations and he's not feeling these temptations. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't work with women. Maybe that's the issue.
Could be.
But it's no different than when you have children, especially at first, and you're not used to putting your desires and your needs and your wishes on the back burner, and you're sacrificing everything for your children. It is such a startling thing to have it introduced to you that some other person is going to give the opportunity to live independently and be treated as a human being, because nobody treats you like that at home. At home, you're changing diapers, you're caring for the kids, you're making sure they stay alive, you're cooking,
Doing
you're
dinner,
cleaning. You're not a woman. You are a maid, you are a caregiver, you are a nanny, but you're not a woman. And so it was the lowest common denominator that some random guy, doesn't even have to be good looking, could give you that attention, and it would make you feel a certain way.
I mean, I have to point out she was honest with her husband, sat down and told her how she felt.
It's good that she tells him about it now, because you can't just dig your head in the sand and pretend like that's not ever going to be a thing. Temptation is something that is experienced by men and women in the context of marriage. There's this movie with Denzel. It wasn't even, I mean, it's decades old. I forget, but Denzel plays this guy, and he's explaining to his wife about how he messed around with this lady, and he's like in his 50s or 60s or whatever. And he explains to her, I just wanted to feel like a man again. And then she goes in on him and says, you think I didn't want to feel like a woman? You think I didn't have moments of weakness and temptation? But I did all of that. And I sacrificed for you. And they're having this very real conversation that happens with married folks. It's like, you don't think that I didn't feel temptations too? The fact that he would ever be under the idea or the impression that he could just navigate life, and she was going to tend to his needs and the children's needs without temptation to go elsewhere, is a naive one. And if he doesn't man up and acknowledge that that is a thing, then he's bound to be cheated on extensively down the road. That's just how it works.
What does it say next?
Well, let's go on to the next thing. So he says betrayed. I think that the reason she was tempted by this guy at work is that he's giving her the attention. We read that part. I can understand, pissed me off. So frankly, I've been busting my ass for 3 years to afford our child the house she wanted and her ability to be a stay-at-home mom. I've been working 10 or 12-hour days, 6 days a week to afford this. And she's tempted by some guy at work after knowing him for 6 weeks. I felt betrayed more than I ever have. It doesn't have to be 6 weeks, buddy. It could be 15 minutes. It could be in the course of 30 seconds. He could throw her a glance that you haven't thrown her in
Or
years.
buy her a drink.
And then she's done. Finished. And she's going to feel that temptations. No different than you were to see some young lady in a sundress that smiles at you, Riley. And you interpret that as something that it ain't. I've seen men lose their minds over stuff like that. Don't think it's any different from for women. And if you do think that, you are naive and bound to fail. This is reality. This is the world. This is the universe. This is you have committed to your wife to be certain things. And if you're going to fall short of those things, you cannot be upset when she's tempted to give in to feelings that she hasn't felt for you for years, months, however long it's been. Whatever it is that you feel that your wife has neglected of you in terms of your emotions and your feelings, do not think for a second that that is unique to you and that your wife doesn't feel similar things. That's the nature of humanity. That is the nature of the universe. It's the nature of commitment and the nature of marriage. And it is 100% a skill in marriage to be able to feel temptations like that and to disregard them. Every married couple has to have that ability. Both parties have to have that ability. And to think that your partner is not going to be confronted with temptation is naive.
Temptation is a part of life, unfortunately.
It is a silly thought to think that you're so special that she wouldn't be tempted by some other dipshit person.
I don't want to cite the Bible, but I am going to. And let's just remember that the snake literally not lusted, but tempted Eva to just take the fruit from the tree. And she did.
Ava. I know her as Eve.
Oh, Eve.
I don't know if that's a language thing or not.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Now that you mentioned it, it is.
So he says, I asked to see her phone. She gave it to me without resistance. I went through all her contacts, deleted the message, everything. Didn't find anything suspicious. I don't believe that she actually cheated and is only pretending to be tempted too. But I suppose it's possible she seemed genuinely remorseful during our conversation, but that didn't make it feel any better. I told her in the heat of the moment that I want a divorce, and this caused her to break down in tears and beg me to stay. She asked if I would tear our family apart over just the idea of her cheating. And I threw her words back in her face and said I was sorely tempted. I went to bed and ignored her attempts to get me to talk. And since I had work today, the work that has kept our family afloat for the last 3 years and more, if you want to count the 5 years I spent making 3 times more than her. I thought about this all day today. I'm not sure what to do. I can't get over the idea of my wife wanting to cheat with this first man she spent any extended time with in 3 years. She asked me if I was going to throw it all away over a feeling, but she was going to do the same damn thing with the guy from work. She's angry that I got angry at her in the moment, but I think I have good reasons to be furious. Yeah, except you got to consider that every time that this guy sees some random wayward lady in a sundress that gives him any attention, that he wouldn't be having similar thoughts and he might fail to label them as temptation, but it's no different than what she's feeling. So this idea that she's being forthcoming and honest with you is a green flag. She's communicating with you. She's being an adult with you. She's telling you what she needs. And you could respond with that like a bitch and say that, you know what, I can't stomach it. I want a divorce. Or you could work on yourself.
That's basically what he's doing.
And recognize that you are a man that has committed to this woman and this child. And things aren't always going to be as rosy as they seem. And look, you could ignore it. And then expect her to just be loyal to you despite you giving her anything of value, and let nature take its course. Or you could wise up to the situation and recognize your position as husband and father and act accordingly. But to excoriate her on the basis of an admission of temptation to which you've been tempted hundreds of times prior to her ever mentioning anything like this to you, and I know that because you're a guy, get the F out of here. And that's all I got to say about that. I don't know. Dominic, am I out of bounds when I say stuff like that?
No.
Tell me that you haven't seen the girl in the sundress that's like smiles at you, Riley, and whatever, and like you have all of these thoughts and temptations. Whatever, the sundress, the whatever you want to, whatever clothing, pajamas, yoga pants. I don't know. What do women wear? It's summer season, so I'm thinking sundress. Tell me as a guy that you haven't been tempted in that way as a single man.
She
And
just
if-
reminded me of the trend of the girl that wears a sundress and she like films her partner, her husband, like, "Hey babe, I'm gonna go to You're not going that way. You're not going dressed like that. I'm not going with you."
I told my wife, like, are you going in your pajamas? Like, dick, these are my clothes, my regular clothes. Oh, pardon me. It looks like your pajamas. Make no mistake about it. When I say stuff like that, I know exactly what I'm doing. I know that they're not pajamas. I'm just trolling my wife a little
I
bit.
know.
I do it in jest. She does the same thing to me. It's not a big deal. Anyway, folks, I don't know. What do you think? Am I out of bounds?
No,
Imperatrice?
that's my mom.
Imperatrice?
That's my mom.
That's your mom?
Yes.
Get out of here.
Yeah, that's my mom.
What's up, Melissa's mom? I ain't never met you before. I got all your coffee and candy and stuff that you sent me from Colombia. Thank you so much. I'm so proud of your daughter, by the way. She's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful assistant.
But yeah, that's my mom. I think Teddy must have locked her in.
I don't
Because
know
she's
what
at-
he did.
She's at home.
It's so crazy. I got your parents watching. I love that. Jules says, LOL, I bet you are, Omar. I don't know what I'm doing. She says, I bet I am doing something. And then she says, no, I don't think you're out of bounds. I don't think I'm out of bounds.
No,
I don't.
no,
Look,
not really.
you got to be, if you're going to take up the task of being married to anybody, you got to be real with each other. That goes for temptations and it goes for your needs and your wants. If you neglect any of those three categories, then you're bound to failure. You still have to keep your partner up to date with who you are as a person. How could you possibly define who you are as a person without going over those three categories? I don't know, but it's something that you have to constantly check in with each other on. Otherwise, you're not setting yourselves up for success. Andrea Ellerby says that honesty is the requirement. I agree. Only me, baby, is talking about booty shorts. Yeah, booty shorts. Hey, Dominic, how many people in booty shorts have you
Oh my
been
God,
checking out
that
over
was
the
a-
course of the
that
summer?
was a thing so long ago.
You're talking about my prime, the 90s, the salt and pepper.
So cute. The Juicy Couture ones.
I don't know, man. Booty shorts been around since the 70s. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? All right, folks. I've been going almost a couple hours on this edition of Family Law After Dark. We're going to be resuming next week. If you haven't done so already, consider signing up for a Tilted Lawyer podcast membership, where you're going to be getting access to unaired versions of our show that are not available on regular YouTube. Of course, you can always subscribe and listen to our podcast free of charge without any money wall, but there are certain perks to being a paid member, and you're going to experience all of those perks on the YouTube membership and or our Patreon, whichever you prefer. Hey, Dominic, you got anything to add with respect to those things or no?
No, nothing new
Damn you.
yet. Oh, I guess just the merch. I'll be dropping the hoodies the closer we get to August. Not August, October.
September.
Yeah,
October.
we're not in hoodie weather yet. It's like 110 degrees outside, but
No.
Yeah. People want
bear in mind that we are going to be updating our merch catalog. So if you were so inclined, be checking up on that daily.
And Omar's getting me my Fiji water.
Like hell I am. I'll send you to the liquor store for some Fiji water. You can go buy it yourself.
I'll give you the address.
It's at the Walmart over there. Here,
I'm gonna send you a Venmo request. Fiji water.
I'll pay you enough.
I'm literally gonna Fiji water.
All right, folks. I love you all. We will see you guys. We will see you guys next time.